Hey there! So let me ask you something really honest. When was the last time a friend came to you with a problem? Maybe they were upset about something, maybe they needed advice, maybe they just needed someone to listen. And here's the real question. How did you respond? Did you know what to say? Did you feel helpful? Or did you feel a bit awkward and unsure? Because supporting friends, really being there for them when they need us, that's not always easy. Sometimes we want to help, but we don't know how. Sometimes we say the wrong thing. Sometimes we don't say anything at all because we're worried we'll mess up.
That's so true, Emily. And you know what? I've been on both sides of this. I've been the friend who needed support, and I've been the friend trying to support someone else. And honestly, both can be really difficult. When someone is going through something hard, you want to help them. You want to make them feel better. But sometimes you just don't know what to do or what to say.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to English Club Podcast. I'm Emily, and I'm here with my friend Paul, and we're so glad you're here with us today. This is our space where we learn English together in the most natural, comfortable way possible, just like we're all sitting here having a real conversation together.
And speaking of supporting friends, I actually had an experience just last week that made me think about this topic. My friend called me late at night. She was really upset. She just had a big argument with her sister, and I could hear in her voice that she was crying. And my first reaction was panic. I thought, what do I say? How do I help her? I felt so much pressure to say the perfect thing to make everything better.
Oh, I know that feeling. That pressure to fix everything, to say exactly the right thing. It's so stressful, isn't it?
It really is. And what I've learned, and what took me years to understand, is that usually people don't need us to fix their problems. They just need us to be there, to listen, to care. But that's actually harder than it sounds.
That's such an important point. And today, that's exactly what we're going to explore. How to support friends, how to be there for people we care about, how to listen, how to comfort, how to help. And of course, we're going to learn all the English vocabulary and expressions you need to talk about this topic and to actually support your friends in English.
This topic is so important because friendship is one of the most valuable things in life. Our friends are there for us through good times and bad times. And being able to support them, to really show up for them when they need us, that's what makes friendships strong and lasting.
Plus, being able to express support and comfort in English is a really practical skill. Maybe you have English-speaking friends who are going through difficult times. Maybe you want to be able to offer help and encouragement. Maybe you need to know how to have these kinds of sensitive conversations in English. All of this requires specific vocabulary and expressions that we're going to learn today.
By the end of this episode, you're going to know all the key vocabulary for supporting friends. You're going to learn how to listen effectively, how to offer comfort, how to give advice when it's appropriate, and how to just be present for someone who's
struggling. And you're going to hear lots of real examples from both Paul and me about our own experiences with friendship and support. The good, the bad, the awkward, all of it. Because we want this to feel real and relatable.
And hey, before we dive in, if you're enjoying this podcast, please like and subscribe to our channel for more English learning podcasts. It really helps us create more content for you. Your support means everything to us.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What does it mean to support a friend? Well, supporting someone means being there for them, helping them through difficult times, offering comfort, encouragement, or assistance when they need it. It's about showing that you care and that they're not alone.
And support can look different in different situations. Sometimes support means listening without judgment. Sometimes it means offering advice. Sometimes it means helping with practical things. Sometimes it just means being physically present. There's no one right way to support someone. It depends on what they need in that moment.
That's such a good point, Paul. And I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming they know what kind of support someone needs without actually asking or paying attention. We'll talk more about that later. But first, let's talk about the vocabulary we use when discussing support in friendship.
When we talk about supporting friends in English, we use lots of specific expressions. We might say, "I'm here for you." That's a really common and important phrase. It means you're available, you care, you're willing to help. We might say, "I've got your back." That's more informal, and it means you'll support them and protect them.
We also say things like, "I'm always here if you need to talk," or "You can count on me." count on someone means you can rely on them, you can depend on them. We might say, I'll support you no matter what, or I'm on your side. These all express that you're there for your friend.
When someone tells us about a problem, we often start by acknowledging their feelings. We might say, I'm so sorry you're going through this, or that sounds really difficult, or I can't imagine how hard that must be. These phrases show empathy. Empathy means understanding and sharing someone else's feelings.
We also have phrases for offering to listen, like, do you want to talk about it? Or, I'm here to listen if you need to vent. Vent means to express your feelings, especially negative feelings, to release them. We might say, tell me everything, or I'm all ears. I'm all ears is an informal way to say I'm ready to listen carefully.
And when we want to offer practical help, we say things like, what can I do to help? Or, is there anything I can do? Or, let me know if you need anything. These show you're willing to take action, not just offer words.
Now let's talk about different types of support, because as Paul mentioned, support isn't one size fits all. Different situations call for different types of support.
One of the most important types of support is emotional support. This is when someone needs to express their feelings and feel understood. They need empathy, compassion, validation. They need to know their feelings are normal and acceptable.
I remember when I went through a breakup a few years ago. I was devastated, and my friend Sarah gave me the best emotional support. She didn't try to anything. She didn't tell me to get over it or look on the bright side. She just let me cry. She listened to me talk about the same things over and over. She validated my feelings. She said things like, it's okay to be sad. You have every right to feel hurt. Take all the time you need.
That's beautiful, Emily. And that's what good emotional support looks like. It's not about fixing or changing someone's feelings. It's about accepting them and being present with them in their pain.
Exactly. And the language we use for emotional support is really important. We say things like, your feelings are valid, or it's okay to feel this way, or you're allowed to be upset. These phrases give people permission to feel what they're feeling without judgment.
Another type of support is practical support. This is when someone needs actual help with tasks or problems. Maybe they're going through a difficult time and they're overwhelmed. Maybe they're sick. Maybe they're dealing with a crisis, and they need help with concrete things.
Like when my mom was in the hospital last year, my friends gave me amazing practical support. One friend brought me meals so I didn't have to cook. Another friend helped me with errands. Another friend gave me rides to the hospital. They didn't just say, let me know if you need anything. They actually did specific things to help.
That's such an important distinction. Sometimes when we say, let me know if you need anything, we mean well, but it puts the burden on the other person to ask. And when someone is struggling, asking for help can be really hard. So better practical support is offering specific things, like, I'm going to the grocery store, what can I get you? Or, I'm free on Saturday, can I help you with anything?
Yes, that's so much more helpful. And the language for offering practical support includes phrases like, I'll bring you dinner tonight, or let me help you with that, or I can pick that up for you. These are specific offers, not fake ones.
Another type of support is giving advice or guidance, but this one is tricky because sometimes people want advice and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just want to vent and be heard, not be told what to do.
Oh, this is so important, Paul. I've made this mistake so many times. Someone tells me about a problem and I immediately jump into fix-it mode. I start giving advice, and I can see in their face that it's not what they wanted. They just wanted to talk and feel heard.
I do the same thing. I think a lot of us do. We want to help, so we think helping means solving. But often the best help is just listening. So before giving advice, it's good to ask. You can say, do you want my advice, or do you just want me to listen? Or would you like me to share my thoughts, or would you prefer I just hear you out?
That's perfect. Asking permission to give advice. That way you're not forcing your opinion on someone who isn't ready for it.
And when you do give advice, the language matters. Instead of, you should do this, which can sound bossy or judgmental, you can say, have you considered? Or maybe you could try. Or what if you? These are gentler ways to suggest something.
We can also share from our own experience. Like when I went through something similar, I found it helpful to, or what worked for me was. This way you're offering perspective without telling them what to do.
Another
Type of support is just being present. Sometimes the best support is simply spending time with someone, not trying to fix anything or say anything profound, just being there. When my friend Mark lost his job, he was really depressed, and I would go to his apartment and we'd just watch TV together. We didn't always talk about the job loss, we just hung out. And he told me later that those visits meant so much to him, just having company, not being alone with his thoughts.
That's companionship, that's presence, and it's so valuable. The language for this type of support is simple. Want some company? Or can I come over and hang out? Or you don't have to be alone. I'm here.
Now let's talk about how to actually listen to someone, because listening seems simple, but it's actually a skill, and most of us aren't as good at it as we think we are.
That's so true. Real listening, active listening, it takes effort and practice. It means giving someone your full attention, not thinking about what you're going to say next, not checking your phone, not interrupting, just really hearing them.
When someone is talking to you about something important, make eye contact. Nod to show you're following. Make small sounds like mm-hmm or yeah to show you're engaged. These nonverbal signals matter.
And we use certain phrases while listening to show we're paying attention and understanding, like, I hear you, or I understand, or that makes sense, or go on, I'm listening. These encourage the person to keep talking and show them you're really there.
We also reflect back what we heard. This is called reflective listening. You paraphrase what the person said to show you understood. Like, so what you're saying is, or it sounds like you're feeling, or if I understand correctly. This helps the person feel heard and also gives them a chance to clarify if you misunderstood.
And here's something really important. Don't interrupt. Let them finish their thoughts. Even if there are pauses or silences, that's okay. Silence isn't always bad. Sometimes people need a moment to gather their thoughts or feel their feelings.
Yes, I've learned to be comfortable with silence. It used to make me so uncomfortable, I'd rush to fill the silence with words. But now I understand that silence can be okay. It's space for the other person to process.
Another important part of listening is not making it about you. This is a mistake I see all the time. Someone shares a problem and the listener responds with, "Oh, that happened to me too," and then they tell their own story. And suddenly the conversation is about them, not the person who needed support.
Oh, I've done this. Someone would tell me about their difficult day, and I'd say, oh, I had a terrible day too. Let me tell you about it. And I thought I was relating to them, showing I understand, but actually I was shifting the focus away from them.
Exactly. It's good to relate and share, if it's brief, and then you bring the focus back to them. Like, I've experienced something similar. I know how hard it is. But then immediately, how are you handling it? What's been the hardest part for you? This shows empathy, but keeps the focus on them.
That's such a good distinction. Now let's talk about what not to say when someone is going through a hard time, because sometimes our attempts to help actually make things worse.
Oh yes, there are some common
Phrases that people say with good intentions, but that can actually be hurtful or dismissive. Like, everything happens for a reason. This might be meant to be comforting, but to someone in pain, it can feel like you're dismissing their suffering or saying they deserved it. Or at least it's not as bad as. Comparing someone's problem to a worse problem doesn't make them feel better. It makes them feel like their feelings aren't valid. Pain is pain. We shouldn't rank suffering.
Another one is you'll get over it, or time heals all wounds. While these might be true eventually, saying them to someone who's currently hurting isn't helpful. It feels like you're rushing them through their grief or pain.
Or look on the bright side, or it could be worse. Again, these minimize the person's feelings. They're not ready to look on the bright side yet. They need to feel what they're feeling first.
And a really common one is I know exactly how you feel. The truth is, we don't know exactly how someone else feels. Even if we've been through something similar, everyone's experience is unique. It's better to say, I can't imagine exactly how you feel, but I'm here for you.
What about you should? Starting advice with you should can sound judgmental or bossy, like you should just break up with him or you should quit that job. Even if the advice is good, the delivery can feel pushy.
Yes, and my least favorite is just think positive or just don't think about it. If it were that easy, they would have already done it. Telling someone to just not feel what they're feeling is invalidating.
So what should we say instead? Well, we've covered some good options. I'm sorry you're going through this. That sounds really hard. I'm here for you. Tell me more. How can I help? These are all safe, supportive responses.
We can also ask questions that help them process, like, how are you feeling about all this? Or what's been the hardest part? Or what do you need right now? These show interest and give them space to express themselves.
Now let's talk about different situations where friends need support and how to handle each one.
Let's start with when a friend is sad or grieving. Maybe they lost someone they love. Maybe they're going through a breakup. Maybe they experienced a disappointment. They're in emotional pain. How do we support them?
First, acknowledge their pain. Don't try to cheer them up right away or tell them to look on the bright side. Let them be sad. Say things like, "I'm so sorry for your loss," or "My heart goes out to you," or "This must be incredibly painful."
Offer to listen. I'm here if you want to talk. Or tell me about them if you want to share memories. For grief specifically, people often want to talk about the person they lost. Let them.
And offer practical help. Can I bring you food? Do you need help with arrangements? Can I run errands for you? When people are grieving, basic tasks can feel overwhelming.
What about when a friend is stressed or overwhelmed? Maybe they have too much work. Maybe they're dealing with multiple problems at once. Maybe they're just at their limit. How do we help?
Listen to them vent without trying to solve everything. Sometimes people just need to express how stressed they are. You can say, "That sounds overwhelming," or "Anyone would be stressed in your situation."
Help them prioritize if they want help. What's the
Most urgent thing? What can wait? Can anything be eliminated? But only do this if they ask for this kind of help. And offer to help with specific tasks. "I can watch your kids for a few hours if that would help," or "Let me pick up your groceries," or "I can help you with that project." Taking one thing off their plate can make a big difference.
What about when a friend made a mistake or is dealing with the consequences of a bad decision? This is delicate because you don't want to judge them, but you also don't want to pretend the mistake didn't happen.
I think the key is separating the person from the action. You can acknowledge that what happened was a mistake without making them feel like they're a bad person. Like, "We all make mistakes," or "This doesn't define you."
And avoid "I told you so" at all costs. Even if you did warn them, even if you saw this coming, saying "I told you so" when they're already suffering is cruel, not helpful.
Focus on moving forward. Okay, this happened, it's done. Now what can we do? How can we handle this? Let's figure out the next step. This is solution-focused without dwelling on the mistake.
What about when a friend is angry? Maybe they experienced an injustice. Maybe someone wronged them. Maybe they're furious and need to let it out.
Let them be angry. Don't tell them to calm down or that their anger is too much. Anger is a valid emotion. You can say, "You have every right to be angry," or "I'd be furious too."
Listen to their anger without trying to fix it immediately. Sometimes people need to vent their anger before they can think rationally about solutions. Just be a safe space for them to express it.
But also, if their anger is leading them toward doing something harmful or destructive, it's okay to gently redirect. Like, "I completely understand why you're angry. Before you do anything, maybe sleep on it." This validates the anger while encouraging caution.
What about when a friend is making a choice you disagree with? Maybe they're staying in a bad relationship. Maybe they're making a career decision you think is wrong. Maybe they're doing something you think will hurt them. This is really hard.
This is so hard, Paul, because you want to protect them, but they're an adult making their own choices. I think honesty with kindness is key. You can share your concerns once. "I care about you, and I'm worried because," then you express your specific concern.
But after you've shared your concern, you have to respect their autonomy. You can say, "I've said my piece. I don't agree with this decision, but I support you as a person, and I'll be here for you no matter what happens."
And then you have to follow through on that. If their choice leads to problems, you don't say "I told you so." You support them through the consequences, just as you would any other difficulty.
That's real friendship, supporting someone even when you disagree with their choices. It's not easy, but it's important.
Now let's talk about boundaries. Because supporting friends is important, but you also have to take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup, as the saying goes.
This is so important. Some people give and give until they're completely depleted, and then they burn out and can't help anyone, including themselves. So it's crucial to set boundaries.
Boundaries might mean saying, "I want to support you, but I need to
take care of myself too. Or I can talk for an hour, but then I need to go. Or I'm happy to listen, but I'm not able to give advice on this particular issue."
And it's okay to say, "I'm not in a good headspace to talk about this right now. Can we talk tomorrow?" Taking care of your own mental health isn't selfish, it's necessary.
Also, if a friend is dealing with something that's beyond your ability to help, like serious mental health issues or addiction, it's okay to encourage them to seek professional help. You can say, "I care about you so much, and I want you to get the help you deserve. Have you thought about talking to a therapist?"
That's not abandoning them. That's recognizing that some problems need professional support. You can still be there for them while acknowledging that you're not equipped to handle everything.
Let me share a story about boundaries. I had a friend who would call me late at night whenever she had a problem, and I always answered. I always talked to her, even when I was exhausted, even when I had work the next morning. I thought that's what a good friend does.
But that's not sustainable, right?
Not at all. I got more and more tired. I started to dread her calls. I even started to resent her, which wasn't fair, because I had never told her this was a problem. Finally, I had to have an honest conversation. I said, I love you and I want to support you, but late night calls are really hard for me. Can we set a time to talk during the day instead?
How did she react?
She was totally understanding. She said she had no idea it was a problem and she completely respected my boundary. And our friendship actually got better because I wasn't resentful anymore. That taught me that good friends want you to have boundaries. They don't want you to sacrifice yourself.
That's a great lesson. Real friends respect boundaries. If someone gets angry at you for setting reasonable limits, that's a red flag about the friendship.
Now, let's talk about the language we use for setting boundaries. We can say, I care about you, and I also need to take care of myself. Or, I want to help, but I have my limits too. Or, I'm here for you, and I also need some time for myself.
We can also be specific. I can talk for 30 minutes right now. Or I can help you move, but I can't help you pack. Or I'm happy to listen, but I'm not comfortable giving advice about this. Specific boundaries are easier to respect than vague ones.
What about when you can't help at all? When someone asks for something you truly can't give? It's okay to say, I wish I could help with this, but I can't. Or I'm not able to do that, but here's what I can do instead.
And sometimes the most supportive thing is being honest. If you're going through your own difficult time and can't be there for someone else right now, it's okay to say, I'm dealing with my own stuff right now and I don't have the capacity to support you the way you deserve. Maybe talk to another friend?
That honesty is better than pretending to be available when you're not. Because if you try to support someone when you're depleted, you won't do a good job and you'll make yourself worse.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about long-term support. Because sometimes friends go through extended difficult periods. It's not just one conversation. It's ongoing support over weeks or months or even years.
Long-term support requires endurance. You have to check in regularly. How are you doing? Thinking of you? Just wanted to see how things are going. These regular check-ins show you haven't forgotten about them or their struggle.
And you have to be patient. Healing isn't linear. Some days they'll seem better, other days they'll seem worse. You might hear the same stories multiple times. That's normal. Be patient with the process.
Also, remember important dates. If it's the anniversary of a loss, reach out. If it's a day that's hard for them, acknowledge it. Thinking of you today. I know this day is hard. This shows thoughtfulness and care.
And celebrate small progress with them. When they have a good day or make a small step forward, acknowledge it. I'm so glad to hear you're feeling a bit better. Or, that's great that you were able to do that. This encouragement matters.
Let me share a story about long-term support. My friend went through a divorce that took over a year. And during that whole time, I tried to be there for her. Some weeks, she needed to talk every day. Other weeks, she wanted space. Some days she was angry. Some days she was sad. Some days she seemed fine.
That sounds exhausting for both of you.
It was, but I loved her and I wanted to support her. And what I learned is that I couldn't be everything for her. So I encouraged her to build a support network. Talk to your sister. Join a divorce support group. See a therapist. Having multiple people to lean on meant no one person got overwhelmed.
That's wise. Diversifying support. It's healthier for everyone involved.
And now, years later, she's in a much better place. And she's told me multiple times how much my support meant during that dark period. That makes all those hard conversations worthwhile.
That's beautiful. Now, what about supporting friends from a distance? In our globalized world, we often have friends in other cities or countries. How do you support someone when you can't be physically present?
Technology helps so much. Video calls, voice messages, texts. You can still listen and offer emotional support even from far away. I'm here for you, even though I'm far away. I wish I could give you a hug, but know that I'm thinking of you.
You can also send things. A care package, flowers, their favorite snacks, a handwritten letter. Physical items can remind you care even when you can't be there in person.
And you can help coordinate support from people who are local to them. If your friend is going through something hard and you're far away, you can reach out to their local friends and say, hey,
Friend is having a really hard time. Can you check on them?
That's great. Being a coordinator of support even when you can't provide it directly yourself.
What about cultural differences in how people express and receive support? Because this can vary a lot.
Good point. In some cultures, people are very direct about their problems and feelings. In other cultures, people are more indirect. Some cultures value independence and might see asking for help as weakness. Others value community and expect to support each other.
So it's important to pay attention to your friend's communication style and cultural background. Don't force someone to talk if they're from a culture where sharing personal struggles isn't common, but let them know you're available if they ever want to talk.
And be aware that some phrases of support are culturally specific. Like, God has a plan, might be comforting to someone religious, but off-putting to someone who isn't. Be sensitive to your friend's beliefs and values.
As we come to the end of this episode, let's recap what we've learned about supporting friends.
We learned that support comes in many forms: emotional support, practical support, advice when appropriate, and just being present. Different situations call for different types of support.
We learned how to listen actively, making eye contact, not interrupting, reflecting back what we heard, and being comfortable with silence. Real listening is a skill.
We learned what to say and what not to say, validating feelings, offering specific help, avoiding dismissive phrases like, everything happens for a reason, or it could be worse.
We learned about boundaries, that taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary, that it's okay to have limits, that good friends respect your boundaries.
We learned about long-term support, checking in regularly, being patient with nonlinear healing, remembering important dates, and celebrating small progress.
And we learned all the English vocabulary and phrases for expressing support, comfort, and care. From I'm here for you to how can I help to your feelings are valid.
Supporting friends is one of the most important things we do in life. It strengthens our relationships, it shows love and care, and it makes us better people.
And when we support our friends well, when we're truly there for them, it creates a bond that lasts. It builds trust, it deepens friendship, and it creates a network of care where everyone supports everyone.
I'd love to hear from you. Have you had to support a friend through a difficult time? What helped? What was hard? How do you like to be supported when you're going through something difficult? Leave a comment below and practice talking about friendship and support in English.
And please, if you found this episode helpful, like and subscribe to English Club for more English learning podcasts. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for caring about your friendships and wanting to be a better friend.
Remember, you don't have to be perfect to be supportive. You don't have to say the perfect thing. Just showing up, listening, and caring. That's often enough.
Be kind to your friends. Be there for them. And also be kind to yourself. Set boundaries. Take care of your own needs too. You can't pour from an empty cup.
See you in the next episode. Keep practicing your English. And remember, you're doing great.
And keep being a good friend. The world needs more people who show up for each other. Take care and bye for now.